SABC News presentation.
Good morning and welcome to our midweek edition of A View from the House. I'm Abra Barbia. There were fireworks in the National Assembly yesterday when Co-President Lekota refused to leave the House when ordered to do so by the Deputy Speaker. We recap on that drama in the chamber. We also hear why Eskom so desperately needed huge tariff increases over the next 5 years. But the Lekota story first. The President of the Congress of the People, Lekota, was once again ordered to leave the National Assembly yesterday after a war of words with Deputy Speaker Nomaindi Mfeketo. That was after he had refused to withdraw his earlier statement relating to impeachment procedures against President Jacob Zuma. Mr. Lekota argued that President Zuma was illegally refusing to be bound by the Constitution to obey a judicial order. First, we listen to a previous statement from the 23rd of October before we continue with yesterday's developments in the House.
On Friday last week, the President's office defied an order by the Supreme Court of Appeals to hand over the abbreviated transcripts of the tapes that permitted criminal charges to be dropped or withdrawn against himself. As his office and his lawyers act daily under his direct authority, the inescapable conclusion is that the President is illegally refusing to be bound by Section 165, subsection 5 of the Constitution, which binds all persons to obey a judicial order, and there are no exceptions. Under the circumstances, COPE requests the Speaker that impeachment procedures against the President be instituted for defying a lawful judicial order.
Mr. Lekota then asked for impeachment procedures to be instituted. Before ruling on his remarks, Deputy Speaker Mfeketo also ruled that both the Ministers of Mineral Resources and of Water and Environmental Affairs withdraw statements they had made in the House. It was during a debate on the lineman Marikana shooting in early September. During that debate, the ministers claimed that Lekota had ordered the National Defence Force to attack communities in Kutsong. Lekota, who was Minister of Defence at the time, denied these allegations. The ministers were not in the House, but they were nonetheless ordered to withdraw those remarks at the first opportunity. Deputy Speaker Mfeketo then gave her ruling with regard to Lekota's statement on the President. She argued that a statement like that could only be brought to the House by way of a substantive motion consisting of a properly formulated charge and prima facie evidence as required by the rules.
Honorable Killian correctly quoted the Rule 105 as entitling a member to address the House on any matter. She omitted, however, to mention Rule 63 that governs unparliamentary language and which includes, through rulings and practice, the prohibition on reflections against the integrity and character of members of the House. What concerns me about this incident, in addition to its disruptive effect on the proceedings of the House, is that in the recent past, Honorable Lekota was admonished about exactly the same transgression of the rules and practices.
The Deputy Speaker said as a former NCOP chairperson and minister, Lekota should have known better. She asked him to withdraw his remarks.
In view of all this, it is difficult not to conclude that Honorable Lekota is deliberately acting in defiance of the rules and established practices of the House and challenging the authority of the chair. Such contraventions of the rules have consequences, and therefore I will appeal to Honorable Lekota to adhere to procedures of this House. The President, though not a member of the House, enjoys the same protection under the rules. Should he consider the issues he referred to in his statement as important, he will have to use the correct and applicable rules to bring them before this House. Finally, for the reasons outlined above, I rule that the allegation by Honorable Lekota were unparliamentary, and I ask him to withdraw his statement that the President acted illegally by refusing to obey a court order. Honorable Lekota, could you please withdraw that statement?
Lekota was not prepared to do that. He pointed out that the matter was now before the courts precisely because of a previous ruling by the Deputy Speaker. He said her earlier ruling was not only unconstitutional but also contrary to the rules of the House.
To ask me to withdraw on a matter that is before the courts is to ask me to go ahead of the outcomes of the court proceedings. I'm not in a position to do that because it would amount to the fact that I must withdraw my case in the courts. I can't do that. And I find it very significant that when the ministers across there had abused me as they did, as you have also correctly ruled now, it's taken this long to wait until I have acted in a certain way. Then it becomes convenient to do it so that you enable yourself to rule against me and compel me to go against the sub judice issues. I am not prepared to do this.
But the Deputy Speaker again asked him to withdraw his statement about the President. A war of words then erupted. She said the cases of the Ministers of Mineral Resources and Water and Environmental Affairs were not connected to her ruling on this matter.
Can you please withdraw? I understand what you're saying about the case.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I confirm indeed that I said what I said. As you know now, in fact, in that statement I said we are tabling a substantive motion in this House on that issue. I'm not withdrawing it because this is, in fact, there are facts to back up what we are talking about. And that too is a matter before the courts of the nation.
All I'm saying is you were supposed, as you know very well, to bring what you said then in a substantive motion, which you didn't do, and I was asked to rule, which I'm doing. Please, can you withdraw?
No, Madam Speaker, that would be tantamount to ask me to withdraw the case that I have brought against your ruling in the courts. I am not doing it.
And at the moment, the court haven't been heard, and I'm sure I can say equally what you are saying. So please, I'm asking you to withdraw.
I don't want to appear to defy you. I must just submit. I will not again repeat this, but
okay.
I am not able and I am not prepared to withdraw what okay. I have said.
Then can you then, Honorable Lekota, because I think I've asked you to withdraw 4 or 5 times. Can I really request you to leave the chamber?
The IFP's Chief Whip, Mr. Koos van der Merwe, a lawyer by profession, thought that there was a way to resolve this matter.
The Honourable Lekota says the matter is subject in the court. Can you not postpone your final decision until after the court case?
No, I can't, Honourable van der Merwe. Honourable Lekota, I've asked you to leave the chamber, please, so that we proceed with the matter.
Madam Deputy Speaker, may I please address you on the matter? Okay. Madam Deputy Speaker, we find it very inappropriate for the matter relating to the Minister of Water Affairs and the Minister of Minerals and Energy to have been on the sort of back burner for several weeks. Yet you come here before the National Assembly and you rule on a matter that was before the Assembly last week, and you are acutely aware, and your advisors are acutely aware of the fact that this matter is sub judice at present before the courts.
No.
So we would like to request you to reconsider. You have given your ruling on the matter, but we want to ask you to please pend the execution thereof until the court has made its finding on the unconstitutionality of the ruling as we presented it to the courts.
The Deputy Speaker stuck to her guns and told Mr. Lekota once again to leave the House. She said she felt she could not rule on the ministers in their absence, but because of time that had lapsed, she could not postpone it any longer. She said there would be chaos if rules were not upheld, court or no court. If Lekota refused to leave the House, the Sergeant at Arms would be ordered to escort him out of the building.
I took a considered view after looking at all aspects of this. If Mr. Lekota is not able to withdraw, which is a simple, because now he even brought a substantive motion, which means he knew when he was doing that he's supposed to do it only with a substantive motion. If he's unable to withdraw, he knows what must be done. If you defy the chair ruling, you leave the chamber. Please, Mr. Lekota.
What you are now doing, in fact, is to say that whether the courts have ruled or not, you will do the same thing that is before the courts. You are not prepared to wait and get the ruling of the courts on the matter.
Okay.
But when it comes to this minister, they have not been here for more than a month. You were not making a ruling on the matter.
I'm not going to take the point of order.
Now you wanted to it suits you to make this ruling on me. That's why you do it when they are not even here. I've been pleading with you, going to your office, that my reputation is at stake. You did nothing. The law says only the president can deploy the armed forces. I told you about that. You are not saying anything about it. You are not commenting about the fact that I could never, as a minister, deploy the armed forces
on a point
without
of order, Deputy Speaker,
the president doing
this
so.
Is really abuse of the
I'm
House.
not prepared to accept this. I'm sorry.
Honorable Lekota, can you please leave the House? I'm not going to take...
Madam Deputy Speaker, can I address you, please?
I'm not going to take any point of order.
May I address you, please?
You're not going to address me.
I'm not taking a point of order. I'm asking you to address you.
I'm not going to entertain this matter. If it's on this matter...
Is there no freedom of speech in your house, then?
Are there no sergeant of arms in this parliament? Can you please lead Mr. Lekota out of the House?
The entire COPE contingent rose with their leader and followed him as he left. But even in their absence, the chaos continued in the National Assembly. We bring you the next chapter in this saga after the break. Stay with us.